All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Andrew Lawando Media, and this is the podcast No Parking. Today, I got my boy Black Wolf. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
How you guys doing? My name is Omar. I am from San Diego, and I am the owner and the guy behind Black Wolf Media.
There we go. And what is Wolf Media?
Black Wolf Media is a production company. So I curate and pretty much creative direct on 8 YouTube shows, review shows, cooking shows, also artist spotlight, as well as like little docu-series.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. And yeah, thank you for being on, my boy. So with No Parking, we talked about it a bit. I started creating this just to kind of connect with other creatives and other people that have stepped out of their comfort zones and has
Yeah.
started their own things. Some of the stuff that they're going through now, some of the mental battles that they had to get to where they're at now, and
Mhm.
things that they're still battling right now. So yeah, let's start off with tell me comic book style 001 of Omar. Um, How'd you grow up? Where'd you grow up at? And what finally got you on the path to becoming a creative, becoming a videographer?
I think I mean, I'm born and raised in San Diego.
Okay.
So
Say, shout out to
yeah,
DC.
we're extinct damn near.
Bro, everybody comes here. They know they love it in San Diego.
Yeah, it's a transplant spot for sure,
Uh-huh.
destination. Yeah, I grew up in San Diego. Um, the only boy in a family of 6 women, so 5 sisters and my mom. My
Mhm.
dad was in and out of the house, so we really pretty much grew up like kind of entertaining each other, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Doing talent shows and listening to Michael Jackson and dancing like him and acting like him and Salt and Pepper, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So we had a lot of happy moments in the house, which kind of
Mhm.
gave into like creating like these action movies with my friends where we would wrestle and we would act like we were recording it
Mhm.
and have like little explosions with little model cars and be screaming and you know what I mean and just
Back when you had to play outside.
yeah, pretty much. So I think just being able to go outside it birthed so much imagination.
Mhm.
Um and being able to watch the movies back then and how much it would like the Goonies.
Oh, bro.
We started to write maps and burn the edges to make it look like maps and buried in the dirt and be like, look, I found a map. So
Uh-huh.
it was like, we were always about adventure, Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom,
Mhm.
Raiders
The
of the Lost Ark.
classics.
Yes. So that got me into wanting to direct like short films, something like Sandlot, it was like a coming
Mhm.
of age. I still have an open spot for that though, definitely.
Mhm.
Because I feel like being a director of those type of movies, I would have to move a certain way. But the way my life is kind of like it's kind of predestined for something else.
Mhm.
You know what I
All the
mean?
buildup.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where I at least get to I at least get to what's the word I'm looking for? Like release that imagination,
Mhm.
and creating like these marketable videos I do for fitness trainers and barber shops or whoever.
Mhm.
It's totally different storytelling, but I still get to get that out of my system.
Yeah. You still
You
get
know,
the creative outlet.
yes, even though it's not what I necessarily want to do as a correct, you know what I mean, as a director, I want to do like feature length film, thought provoking films.
Mhm.
Gets the heart runs racing and the brains turning.
Yeah. Gets you
Yeah.
thinking.
Mhm.
Thought-provoking work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so what did you do prior to being a creative? What were some of the job industries that you were in? And
I worked at SeaWorld.
okay.
Um,
Bro, I worked there
also,
too. First job.
yeah. I mean, in San Diego, you kind of have
You
to.
have to
It's
work at
like there's
SeaWorld,
no
bro.
excuse. It's like they're always hiring every summer after school out.
Wait, where did you work at? What section of the park?
Front gates. So I was in the ticket booth.
Bro, I
Front
worked
of
ticket booth as well.
yeah, I was front of
Bro,
park. Yeah, it
selling
was
them fun
fun.
passes, selling them
Yeah,
family passes, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Get quick
yeah.
on the buttons.
Yeah. They didn't give
Man,
us registers, so you had to count money by hand. So you had to
bro,
learn fast how to count
quick.
backwards.
You had to cut it quick because you had a line. You had a line of 50 people
Yeah,
behind you.
yeah,
Like,
you
all right,
go.
bro, cash, here you go, change that.
That was the cool part. That was the cool part for sure.
So fun, man.
So SeaWorld, I was a mechanic when I was like 15. I wasn't a mechanic. I worked at a mechanic shop when I was 15. I worked at the desk where I handed over tools
Okay.
to people that wanted to work on their cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I would unload boxes and things of that nature. And I was a kid still, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
would
of
be
course.
slashing boxes with the razor blade. Come back the next day and all the oil spilled out.
Mm,
I was like
man.
one of those little slow ass, like,
Oh, okay. I mean, my bad.
yeah. You know what I mean? No consequences type of situation.
Oh, Lord. And if there was, you're like, well, man, whatever. I'll go.
I was like, oh my
Okay.
God. And
And what
then
what age are you at right now when you were doing the boxes after SeaWorld? When did you start at SeaWorld? How old were you?
so SeaWorld was like 19, 20,
Okay.
21. I worked there for a couple years.
Hmm.
And then I became security
Okay.
there. Yeah, and that was cool because
Yeah, I
I could
bet, man.
secure, Shamu Stadium, and I was able to meet the trainers because I'll be standing there for a couple hours,
Yeah.
and then they would have me come over and be like, "Oh, you want to meet Shamu?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Like, hell yeah, I want
Oh, throw him a little fish,
to.
It was cool. It was really cool.
Okay.
And then I noticed that, just in general, like people are more engaging when you're just very welcoming and open to any type of approach.
Hmm.
When
Yeah.
people just came up and was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fine. How are you doing?" And it's like that reciprocation of energy.
Hmm.
I think that's why people were I learned really quickly, like when you're working in public and working with people that you don't know, they're not your friends or your family that you went to school with or grew up with. You realize that you have to be open. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? To be considered like, to be welcomed into other people's energy. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? I was like, I noticed that a lot of people I worked with rarely talk to people.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I was the one that talked, and I noticed that I got more out of, like, my experience there.
Hmm.
I would come on my day off and hang out, and they would see me and they would invite me and my family over to go pet Shamu.
Oh, damn. You're
You know
like,
what I
listen,
mean? They
guys.
wouldn't do that to everybody.
You're like, I got the end. Hold on. Let me talk
Yeah,
to
yeah,
my
yeah,
boy.
yeah. So
I
after that, I started doing that
got
with everywhere I went.
you. Okay.
Yeah. And then I worked at after SeaWorld, I worked at shoot as an EMT, and
Oh, wow.
then worked at the hospital, worked at the bars and the clubs as a
Hmm.
bouncer, all at the same time. And then one day we were at a holiday party. I got drunk. I ran down the street, jumped down some stairs, broke my knee.
Bruh.
Yeah, and
The black Spider-Man jumping
yeah,
downstairs.
yeah, 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 yeah. I was in midair like, "Oh." So I ended up
No
breaking my
insurance.
yeah, yeah, broke my knee, and I ended up having to go out of work for 6 months. So in that 6 months time, I really didn't communicate with my job. So all three of my jobs ended up firing me, or they had to let me go. They didn't
Yeah.
fire me.
Hmm.
You can't fire anybody for being hurt. But after that, I ended up starting a promotion company called Lone Wolf Productions, which was throwing parties. And I
Ah,
threw
okay.
parties downtown for like a year.
Bet.
That was
Right.
fun.
So wait,
That
how did
was
you jump into that? Did you already have like contacts that you knew? You had
no.
friends that, bro, you got to explain this. How the hell did you get into
Yeah.
throwing
So I
parties
went
down? Broken knee on
so
crutches.
yeah, so I went on crutches, and I used to go out, right? Like
Okay.
18, 19, in TJ. But like over here, we would go out casually.
Hmm.
But by the time I got injured, I didn't go out at all for the years that I've been working three jobs.
Okay.
And I was always working as a bouncer, so I never went out. For like 5 years, let's just say 5 years, I wasn't anywhere outside of like San Diego going out.
Okay.
So when I broke my knee, I went downtown. I don't know how I ended up there, but I just was. And I was at Intervention. No, no, I'm sorry. I went to PB. I went to Shore Club,
Oh, the
Crutches,
classic.
or Firehouse. And
He was like, you know what? I need to
I
be around
ran
some white girls right now.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
need
yeah.
that healing energy. I'm going to PB.
Dude. So then I'm hanging out with all the black people in San Diego in PB.
Okay.
They were really cool. So I met everyone. And and then I met my boy Seth, and he was like, "Man, we always run into each other. We might as well exchange numbers." I was like, "Yeah, hit me up when you go out next time, because look, I'm on crutches. I got time."
I got number time.
And so he started showing me around like to intervention, and then I just kept shaking up people's hands, like, "Oh, my
Yeah.
name's Omar. My name's Omar." Everyone's like, "Where
Mhm.
are you coming from? Where did you come from?" I'm like, "I'm from San Diego." They're like, "We've never seen you."
Uh-huh.
So I came with energy, which then welcomed me
Mhm.
everywhere all the time.
Okay.
So I was like, if I'm gonna do something, I'm much an extremist. If I say I want to do something, I go ahead first.
Hmm.
You won't see me until I come up and I'm all exhausted from holding my breath for 12 days. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So anyway, so I was like, you know what? I want to see what this life is about, you know? So I went
Yeah.
out for 7 days a week. I mean, for like, I swear, like I would go out every day for 7 days a week. I did it for like 3 months or something like that. So people thought I was like a company,
Hmm.
like club owners. They were like, "Oh, you throw parties down here?" I'm like, "I can." You know what I
I
mean?
do everything.
And so yeah, so Phantom Lounge, I threw a party and my boy was promoting there. So I was like, "Hey, my boy who has a clothing line wants to throw a party down there. Let's do it." So we went down there. Phantom Lounge people were like, "Yo, you brought a lot of people." I was like, "Yeah, I brought like 65 people, different
Mm.
different background." He's like, "Can you do this a lot?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Would you like to throw parties here?" I'm all, "Sure."
Sure, I got you.
Yeah, and like that weekend, I ran home and I made a fictitious business name. I made a bank account. I made, you know what I mean.
Hmm.
And I went back to him, had a meeting, and me and my boy Seth started throwing parties there, and we did it for like a year.
Bro, I
And
remember
like
Phantom Lounge
people,
used to be the spot. Notoriously closed
yeah,
though. Bro, they were
yeah,
notoriously getting in trouble for stuff. Closed
yeah,
down
yeah,
for a couple weekends, bro, and then
yeah.
they would shut
People
down
get
for
hit with
weeks.
hookah lamps,
Bro,
but
so many fights, so many things going on at Phantom Lounge. But
oh
it was
yeah,
lit. It always had the lit music. And bro,
bro,
you could
real,
always
bro.
get lit there.
Bro, it was fun. It was fun being out there at that time in my life. You know what I mean? I
Hmm.
got to experience a lot of things that I didn't because I've always been working. I'm a
Yeah.
working.
How old are you at this time?
When I was doing that,
Yeah, the Phantom Lounge.
like it was like 8 years ago. I'm 40, so like
Hmm.
31, 30, 31.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the experience.
He said, boy, I was getting
That was the experience. It
it.
definitely went to my brain, you know what I mean? I
Uh-huh.
was like walking on tables, you know what I mean?
Mm.
It goes to your head when you start to get so much like leeway,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
That
Like
cloud injection, especially when you're getting motion with that. It's
yeah, they're like, "Oh, this is your party that you're throwing here, so who do you want us to kick out if you have an issue with anyone?" I'm like, "Okay." So you just walk around bumping into motherfuckers like, "What? Get out of here! Get him out of here!"
Get him.
So I saw myself going down that hole, the
Okay.
darkness, the drugs, the alcohol, the women, the late
Hmm.
nights, the after parties. And it was like I was getting robbed, not robbed like that. People were stealing from me and things of that nature at my after parties.
Okay.
I didn't watch people. I just started to generally let anyone in.
Hmm.
So, anyways, after that, I was just sitting at home one day and I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? I've always liked taking pictures
Yeah.
because I would take pictures with my iPhone.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
One day I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna buy something for myself. I'm gonna buy myself a camera. So I got me a Canon T6 camera.
Nice little starter camera right there.
Yeah. Talk to my boy Mateen and asked him what kind of camera or what I mean. He showed me how to use it. We went to shoot sunsets in OB.
Okay.
Yeah. It was, and
Right.
then it just kind of went from there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So and that's interesting as well that 8 years ago, that's about the start of like the big wave in social media where everybody was like, all right, now I'm starting to take photos with my phone. Like
Yeah.
I got this. I'm
Yeah.
I'm a creative now. I can do cool
Yeah.
ass photos with my phone.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that you jumped right into it. You're like, all right, I'm taking photos on my phone on Instagram.
Mhm.
all right, I'm gonna buy a camera, and I don't know how to work a camera, but my boy's gonna show me. I'm gonna go down to the
Right.
beach, shoot some sunsets, and
Real shit.
figure it out. And right then, that was just kind of like, all right, it's just something to do, right? Because you were still doing the parties downtown at
Well,
that time.
I technically kind of like took a step back from it.
Okay.
So it was kind of like the height of it went all the way up and then I just
Mhm.
disappeared.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
damn.
Because I got arrested
Mm.
twice. You know what I mean? It was just like a lot of things that came with that lifestyle.
Yeah, of course, party
You know what I
lifestyle
mean?
outside, bro. So
People
like,
that are not your friends, like being right next to you or in your home and in your car.
yeah,
You don't know what the hell's going on. You know what
exactly. Them snakes that you let
I
in.
mean?
It's like,
It was a
well,
lot of those. Yeah. I
mhm.
learned a lot. I was like, man, I wish I really never brought myself out into the light where people now know who I am. So, I mean, there's still residuals. Like everywhere I go, there'll be someone somewhere that'll be like, hey, oh, I'm like, God dang.
Now
Hey, we
you know.
go to church in North Carolina. I know someone. You know what I mean? It's just
Okay.
like I mean, I love the fact that I met so many people and I love the fact that I got to experience that life, but man, being known by that many people just ain't it.
Hmm. Okay, I feel you.
um,
Okay, so you got the new camera. Your boy's showing you how to use it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah,
had
yeah.
never
Sorry,
used
I
the
didn't mean
camera
to jump
before in your
off.
life, right?
Mm-hmm. I think what it was really was I think I needed something else to focus on.
Yeah.
You know, I just needed to learn something new.
Hmm.
Like one of the things about me is I love challenges, I love learning something new, and I have to learn something new.
Yeah.
It's a it's just one of those things that's in my mind and my body all the time. I just need to learn something new. So the camera was really something that I've always taken a liking to, and then later finding out my dad was into pictures and he took a lot of photos and he had a
Hmm.
box full of photos and he always had his film and he always developed it and I was like, wow, no wonder I have this weird,
Wow.
you know, this connection with photography
Hmm.
and being able to capture images and visuals that a lot of people say they don't see in a lot of photographers. So that's
Hmm.
always cool.
Okay, and when you first got into it, that was just mainly for a distraction. You hadn't even got to the point where you were thinking, "Oh, my bad. Hold on." Right.
I wasn't thinking of turning it into a business for sure,
Uh-huh.
but it was definitely a pastime or like a hobby that I wanted to have. Like I wanted to be able to go. I was shooting landscape. I was doing a lot of landscape, and then I started asking people if they want to do shoots with me, so I could do portrait work because I love
Okay.
eyes and smile.
Hmm.
So that's what I was really into. I
Okay.
wanted to just do it.
All right. And when you first started doing the portraits, what was your main like avenue to get people to model for you? Because I know that that's something a lot of people struggle with. Is they're like, oh well, I don't have anybody to shoot, and
Right. For the
the-
first year, I offered free shoots.
okay, just to build a
Um,
portfolio.
just people I reached out to, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
I reached out to them and said, "Hey, would you be down to shoot?" And I'll give you the photos, blah blah blah.
Okay.
Trying to grow my stuff, and then also I went to photo meetups,
Oh wow.
and I would meet a lot of models out that way, and then I could work with them consistently because everyone was like at the same. They would go to all of
Okay.
meetups in San
Hmm.
Diego.
And pretty much everybody's around the same skill, like the skill level as well. It's like usually when you go to those meetups, so there'll be a couple of people who are super experienced at it, but you'll also have a big group of people that that they're hobbyists, they're old
Yeah,
folks
yeah,
want to
yeah, yeah.
learn
There
it.
was some
Like,
solid people out there, but they were just so shy. I think that was the only way they could shoot models is at the meetups.
okay, got you.
Yeah, because I could tell. You know what I mean? They was
I've
just
run
like,
into a couple of those where they're like, oh yeah, can you go ask this person if they want to take some photos? I'm like, all right, that's
yeah.
fine.
There's a lot of them that are very, 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 and like not antisocial, but like introverts.
Hmm.
Yeah, I noticed that in the community. So I was very boisterous and outgoing. I only do that because I never gained anything being shy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And that's
gotcha.
like that's kind of like a deal I made with myself.
Hmm.
Like as much as I don't like talking, I like honestly, I don't like talking that much, but I know if I want to get places, I have to speak.
Yeah, of course. You have to get out of your comfort zone and
Yeah,
like put yourself out there
100%.
like that. And I mean that's I feel like that's something I struggled with as well, like especially just starting out. I never really had because like you, I did security as well. And I mean, when you're doing security, like that gets you all the way out of your comfort zone because you have
Yeah,
people from all over the place coming up and talking to
yeah,
you. It's like,
yeah.
you know, wife is inside taking out money, or husband is inside taking out money, and you're standing
Mhm.
there. So they're just like, oh, hey, like, how are you? What's your name? Like, where are you from? Do you stay here often? Do you know what restaurants to go to? And you just get into
Right.
the habit of like, all right, I don't feel like talking to nobody, but it's kind of interesting to learn, like, oh, okay, you came from Oregon right now. Your family's on
Right.
vacation from wherever, and like you guys are doing this. I felt like that's one thing that I was very interested in learning about was like what people were doing while because you know it's easy for us to think like the world revolves around us. So
Mhm.
I feel like that job took me out of that and like really put me in like, bro, there's so much going on. Like while I'm standing here doing security work, you know, working 8 9 hours standing up, bro, there's people traveling in from all over the world. There's people that are going out from here from all over the world,
Mhm.
fishing, skiing, like, you know,
Mhm.
families are moving. And the
Yeah.
longer you stay at those places as well, you get to see like people's families growing and those people growing as far as like what they're doing, changing up things in their life. And I remember that was one of the big pushes for me to start this and like to jump out of sales and security, just because while everybody else's life was moving forward, my life just seemed like it was still standing still. It'd be like
Mm.
2 years, 3 years would go down the line, 4 years when
Right.
I did for like 5 years. So it was like, you know, I'm still stuck in the same spot for 5 years and I see everybody around me growing, people that had brought their kids when they were in high school, now they're in college, traveling, like doing stuff. Or
Right. Right.
I remember it really hit me when a customer came into the bank and her son I had met when he was in 11th grade. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to go to college. I want to be a circus. Like, I want to work at a circus. Like, I want to do all the directing at a circus. I want to handle the lights. I want everybody to listen to me while we're at the circus. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was just like, okay, the circus. So three,
Right.
4 years passed by. That lady had continued to come. She kept updating me as far as like what he was doing. And
Yeah.
then like my last year doing security, what really like stapled it to me was like, yeah, he's already graduated college right now. He's actually directing a circus in China. Like, so he's flying us all out there and we're all going to go see him directing this giant water circus at China, like this aqua, whatever. I was like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
I feel that though. I feel
Yeah.
that.
And I was just like, whoa. And she was like, yeah, we'll let you know about it. Like he's paying for all of us to go. And I'm like, bro, I remember when you were coming here, opening up his first bank account. Like, what the
That's
hell?
crazy.
Not his boys off in China directing aqua circuses and stuff and like flying his whole family out to go see him work and like tickets are free comp. This is their first time to China. And like, bro,
That's awesome.
I just remember it hit me and I was just like, and here I am 5 years later. I got all these ideas and things I want to do.
Yeah.
Nothing's moved forward. Like literally nothing's moved forward. I show up, clock in, stand here, collect a paycheck, go back.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Groundhog Day over and over. So
That's when you know
that's when
it's
you know you're like, bro, I gotta start shaking. Nothing's gonna change. Nothing's gonna just fall into my lap. Like
right.
I need to start growing, and the only way I'm gonna do that is taking control of like my life and like getting out of it.
1000%.
And that leads me into what I wanted to ask you next, as far as like, what are some of the insecurities that you had getting into this field? Because I mean, it seems like you've been grinding and hustling like majority of your life, as far as the different jobs that you've had, moving out of
100.
security, going into throwing parties, bro. That was like what your first business that you opened up yourself, and like
Mhm.
that gave you a little taste of like what it was to like, you know,
Entrepreneur.
yeah, be an entrepreneur and like be out here and like, you know, just like shake and move and make your own destiny.
Yeah, it was I mean it, with the production company, I really didn't know how to charge, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? I was essentially bringing the party.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, here's the tickets. It was like $2 for guys, $5 a head for girls. Um, and then I would sell the tickets for like 15 bucks.
Okay.
So I guess that's the way I stayed out of that, where I was just like, oh, whatever the money is, whatever the money is.
Yeah.
And they paid me $500 at Phantom Lounge, and I got a free bottle and a free hookah.
So wait,
So
that was every party that you were throwing at Phantom Lounge. It would be like 500 at the end of the
yeah,
night, a bottle while you're there, a free hookah while you're there. So
yeah,
as long
yeah,
as you just bring a lot of people.
yeah, and party.
Jesus.
That was easy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I did that for 6 months, and then essentially went on to other clubs, because the other clubs, they saw us and who we were bringing, and I was like I told you, I'm such an engaging human being. I had whites, Asians, Mexicans. You know what I mean? I didn't have
Hmm.
one type. I
Okay.
had every person from every background, and so the clubs love that. And so they're
Okay.
like, see what you're doing over there. So 80 hit me up, Park, Flux, F6. So I started doing all those.
Hmm.
That was fun. I was getting paid good there. But anyways, when it came to my photography, because that's what we're really talking
Yeah.
about.
So switching out
I,
from like your free photos into, all right, this is my first
the
job.
free,
I'm
yeah,
actually
the
gonna
free
charge somebody.
photos. I mean, essentially, it's like people were like, "I would pay you $150 for this," and I was like, "You would?" And they're like, "Yeah." They're like, "You're good," and I was like, "Okay." So I kind of like tested the water. So someone hit me up, was like, "Yo, somebody told me to reach out to you if you're doing pictures." I'm like, "Yeah, $100 for the hour."
Hmm.
They're like, $100, okay. So I was like, "All right." So I just
You're like,
like,
damn, they accepted that a little bit too quick. Maybe I was
yeah.
too
So I was
low,
just like
right?
$100, $100, $100, and I
Okay.
was doing that for like 2 years, and then someone else that I ended up working with was like, "How much is it?" I'm also $100. They're like, "Oh, I would have definitely paid you more." I was like, "Okay." So I raised it up like
Uh-huh.
50. So I was like, "Okay, 150 for the
Hmm.
hour." And
And
then
these are still just photography jobs, like portraits.
yeah, these are
Okay.
photography jobs. I never did any shorts. I did only shorts for myself. So in the beginning of my journey, I have so many little short videos that I made
Mhm.
by myself, and it kind of like showed where my mind was when I started versus who I am now.
Mhm.
I'm more a brand photographer.
Okay.
So I'm more like, I'm just a creative director for other people.
Hmm.
You know
Like
what I'm saying? To
they come
create
to
their,
you with an idea and
yeah,
you put that in a creative
yeah,
zone for them because they're like, okay,
right.
well, we want the clothes and this is the vibe we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we do that? And what do you think? And
100.
okay.
Yeah. So I mean, that was the only insecurity, was really charging people
Okay.
my worth. And
Mhm.
that took some time, and it took me going to like, Ascension Leadership Academy to go to seminars about leadership and standing in
Mhm.
your power and charging your worth and getting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting more business. So I mean, I came out of that and it worked. I told everybody what it was. It slowed down. The people that couldn't pay, they stopped calling you, and
Yeah.
eventually, one person hits you up and they take it, and you're like, "Oh, my first client with my new rate." And then after that, it's just normal. There's
Mhm.
no arguing it. Everybody just goes, "Okay."
Yeah.
But like just the way they did when it was 150, they
Mhm.
would do it at 250.
Yeah.
So I was charging two. Now I'm charging 250 for photography.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
that just came with time as far as like you said, being more assertive with it and being more
mhm,
confident with like, okay, this is my price. And
yeah,
you didn't really have anybody question that, like as far as like, oh, you're a little too expensive,
right,
or
right,
can I haggle with you down to
right, right,
blah blah blah.
right. Because everything really was what am I trying to say? I looked at the time. I was like, "Oh, damn." Um, Gosh, what was I saying?
So about the pricing. So nobody ever
Right,
tried to
right, right.
haggle
Oh,
you or
yeah. I think I was just trying to say that you know, it's funny. It's kind of like the argument where everybody's complaining about the gas and the eggs, but they still buying them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You have to. That's essentially why you're making money each and every day,
Mm-hmm.
to pay for things that are outrageous.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, other than that, that was my only insecurity, was really charging my worth, and
Okay.
then feeling I was worth that price that I was saying.
Mm,
And
that's deep right there.
yeah, so it stems from not feeling worthy. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So just because I have a compliment about my videos doesn't make me feel worthy.
Yeah.
No, it took constantly being told I was worthy to really soak in and be like, damn, I am good. You know what I mean? You just start walking around, damn, I am good.
Mm.
I'm actually really good. You don't seek validation, but you seek the same frequency. Like, do you
Hmm.
like this video? Like I like it, and they're like, yeah, I like it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not really a validation like, oh, you don't like it, then my work sucks. Is this me just wondering if we're on the same, if I'm on the same frequency as, normal people, if that makes sense.
I got you. Yeah, because I mean, I feel like a lot of people, especially, deal with that sort of insecurity as far as like not feeling worthy, having imposter syndrome. Like I battle with that a lot too, where it's just like, I feel like the main thing is when you do a job and you feel like you feel confident in it, you felt like you killed it. And then when you get on the gram or something, you see other people's work and you see other people's like videos or photography, and you're just like, man, damn, like my stuff isn't as good as this person's stuff. And look at my boy over here. He just did a video. It's crazy. Like getting caught up in like other people's growth and other people catching other people where their journey is and kind of
Mm-hmm.
forgetting that, you know, their journey is their journey. And majority of the time you're looking at somebody who dedicated 10, 15 years, 17 years plus on their craft to perfect it to that point. So just like kind of enjoy where you're at. And all you got to do is keep taking one small micro step forward until you reach that point. Um,
100%.
to where you are like, okay, yeah, my stuff, I got there. But I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we all just want kind of instant gratification. We want to go from, I just started I'm on 100,000 right now.
Right, right.
I'm all the way at the finish line. My stuff is great.
Yep.
My videos are crazy right now. I'm getting
Yep.
all these bookings. They're out of control.
Yeah.
Like I'm on fire, but just really having to like kind of slow down, remember like, okay, you just started your journey,
Mhm.
regardless of what other people's stuff looks like, just keep working, keep grinding, keep your nose down, and
Nice.
just keep on going,
Yeah.
like keep
Yeah.
pushing.
Yes. Keep learning.
So the and it was cool that you said that too, as far as like you went to a seminar, leadership seminar, to kind
Mhm.
of, what did they teach you at the leadership seminar? Just more about how to be.
Step in your power.
Mhm,
Really, really ask yourself why. Figure out your purpose.
mhm.
Create a vision. Set goals. You know what I mean. Create structure. Get healthy. Surround yourself with smart people. You know what I mean. It
Yeah.
was like one of those situations where it was just like empowerment, 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 and you started to feel it. You started to absorb it, and
Mhm.
it worked. You know what I
Yeah.
mean. I came out of there like,
And I,
my photography is called Blvckwolfmedia now, and I started getting the website going in the LLC.
mhm.
You come out and you just start swinging for the fences. Pretty much what
Okay.
you should have done. We break everything down into a year. We're like, okay, I'll start my website in the first 3 months, and then the next 3 months I'll get my LLC. Instead of doing it all like now,
Okay. So at
small
least
steps
it
behind.
started you off kind of slow, but at least making progress towards something until you're able to actually like start picking it up. Like, all right, I'm heading home. I'm doing, instead of it being a 3 month span, I'm doing it in a 3 day span. I'm doing this in 3 days,
Exactly,
that in 3 days. This week, I'm doing all of these
exactly.
things. Okay. And
Yeah.
I feel like majority of the time, those are those things that we already know we should be doing. And most of the time, it's shit that we already know we should be doing. We just need somebody else to tell us that we should be eating healthy. We should be having routines. We should be putting our
Yeah.
goals down. We should be. And it's like, bro, I already know this. It's just like,
If you read one book, read
exactly.
one book, like one self-help book, it says the exact same thing all the time. Wake up,
Same thing.
brush your teeth, boy, make your bed, take a cold shower, eat protein. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Like we get it's funny. It's funny. It's so easy, but nobody wants to do it.
Nobody wants to do it. All right. So getting into it. So let me know, when was it that you decided that this was the thing I wanted to do? This is what I'm going to go in all in on. And was it while you were still doing your photography, or when did you make that switch over to like, all right, now I'm going to start, I really like videos, or how did you get into doing videos?
the videos weren't really. I mean, when I started getting into videos was probably like 3 years in. I started making videos for brands.
Okay. And this was
Yeah.
on your camera at the time.
Yes. The
Okay.
T6.
Was it still the Canon?
Yeah. It was the T6.
Bro.
I had no microphone uh output.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I I made
What
I
was the
made
lens?
video I made
Bro.
real videos with that.
So wait, what was the lens? What was your go-to lens? Like what, first of all, what lens did you start off with? They come with the stock lens, right?
Yeah.
What's the stock? The 20 millimeter to 90 or
What is
something
it,
like that.
1855?
Okay, 1855. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then I bought the 50.
Bro, yeah. A nice
And
go-to
that's it.
lens. It's cheap,
Yeah.
bro. It's $100, $115. Okay,
Yeah,
so you
that's
had the
it.
50, the 1.8.
Yeah.
Okay, straight
That
out of
bad
Target or
boy,
something, boy.
that bad boy took me through 3 years of like amazing. Like it's funny, it's like it was amazing work until I needed it to do more than what I was capable of doing. You know what I mean? So it was
Hmm.
like I really couldn't mic anyone up. I couldn't do any of that.
Okay.
So it was getting time to where I needed to upgrade my camera. So around my birthday, I just threw it up on Instagram. I was like, yo, this Canon D6D Mark II is $1,300 if everyone throws in $20. If 200 people throw in $20. So
Bro.
like I got like 2,300 bucks.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
And that's all from just like basically fundraising. You just hit up
Yeah.
everybody. It was like, yo, I'm trying to get this. So I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Hook your
So
boy
like,
up, chip in.
yeah. So, and then I had the gimbal and everything. So I was just making, my production value went up just like
Hmm.
that. So I was like making these videos. And then when I started using the gimbal, it just changed the whole dynamic. And I was
Okay.
like, my prices went up, my prices going up.
Okay, so you went
And
from what was it at? Because it was, I think you said you left off at 250-ish with
well,
the
that's where I'm at right now, 250. So I was like 150, then I moved up to 175, and then I went up to 200, then I went up to 225.
okay. And how did you start charging with the videos? Like, what did you do? Did you do it by?
Video work is expensive.
That's what I'm
So
saying. Like, that's what
back in the
problem I'm having.
day, back in the day before they gave people the tools to make their own reels,
Hmm.
I was charging like $500 for a 1 minute video.
Bro, I'm super undercharging. Golly.
And people were paying for it.
Uh-huh.
But people aren't anymore because reels have made people think that since reels only need to be like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, that should cut the price. No, it's
Yeah.
still the same price. It's still
Mm,
$500 for a 15-second reel.
wow.
But no, I'm saying, I mean, no, I'm saying the value doesn't change.
Yeah, it doesn't change just because
But
the
I
time went down.
but I don't charge $500 for 35-second reels.
Hmm.
I charge half of the price, 250.
Okay.
Yeah, to make it easy because a lot of entrepreneurs have went through rough times after the pandemic. So
Yeah.
nobody has that money anymore,
Hmm.
or they're reluctant on putting too much money into something because they don't know how long it's going to last out here.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, especially since um everybody feels like they can just do it themselves. They're just like, well, I have my phone,
There
I
you
can make
go.
my own reel. And then
Mhm.
really when you start seeing how they're doing their own reels, you're just like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if Instagram is going to show love to those two-dimensional videos, then so be it. But I truly believe people still understand the fact that they still need someone else to do it.
yeah, at least direct it for them. Like at least a director to show them like
Yeah,
what looks good, what you're going to be doing. I feel like the apps nowadays like overpromise on a lot of stuff. Like you'll see a bunch of advertising on like, oh,
yeah,
get this new app that trick out your transitions and
yeah,
just make you float in the air, do everything that you can do on like Premiere Pro right here
yep.
in
False sense
this
of
little app,
security.
bro. Okay,
Yeah.
so and with the charge, how much film time do you give them? So it's like, all right, you're charging 250, 15-second
So
reel, you get how much time with me? Like,
so as of right now, with the 250 for, let's say, an athlete, I would say up to 2 hours.
okay.
For the 250, nothing more than that. There's nothing there's nothing more to me that can be fit in the 35-second to 45-second reel.
That you wouldn't have already gotten with the 200 or with the
The two
two
hours.
hours of filming and stuff like
100.
that. And
100.
so do they bring their creative ideas to you as far as like, all right, I'm trying to do this fitness thing. Uh, we're all going to be wearing these clothes. Tell me what your vision is for it.
That's the thing. I started out very headstrong in the fact that I love creating and I
Mhm.
like creating people's visions and making it into a reality.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when they were like, I trust you, I created it the way I would like it. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? Like what
okay.
made sense to me, you
Hmm.
know? And so when they got it, they would nitpick it and they would take it apart and then it would mess with me because I'm like, that's a really good video. And I spent a lot of hours on that. And so, and then it dawned on me and then I started to realize what what essentially helps you become a better uh photographer, videographer is honestly leaving that in the hands of your client.
Hmm. Just
So they,
detaching yourself from it.
I mean, no, I mean, it's essentially like, what do you want?
Oh, okay, got you.
You know what I mean? And they're like, well, what are you? That's why I'm hiring you, Amal. No, you're hiring me to bring you a project or a product that has you written all over it. So what do you
Mhm.
want? What do you see?
Yeah,
What's your vision? Because I'm not going to create something off of my top of my head, use my music off the top of my head, use the intro, use an outro off the top of my head because that's my video.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So now essentially I'm giving you my video and you're just going, I don't like this video because it doesn't feel like it's my video.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've wasted so much time. So I don't do that anymore. I don't that's not for me to do unless they like specifically tell me to, but usually it's like they're like, I want to see this. Like me, I'm all, what do you want to make sure that you're in that's in the video? And what do you not care about to be in the video?
Hmm.
And then if I'm filming it and they're like, Harry, can we try this? I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like I
Mm.
speak up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They're okay, we'll move on to the
Hmm.
next shot. I'm like, yeah, let's move on to the next shot. But in retrospect, sometimes I'll take a step back, like, you know what? Let's just shoot it so I can have it. Like, if the first thing doesn't work, we'll use that other thing that you want to see as well. And then you
Hmm.
see that it doesn't work.
Okay.
They
So,
all have to see it. You know what I mean?
yeah, of course, and it's about having like the courage basically to speak up during a shoot and be like, yes, I know you said that, hey, can we do this? But yeah, that doesn't make sense for this. So
Mm-hmm.
that's not gonna work. I understand it may sound cool to you, but how are we gonna put that in and where we're gonna put that in as
Right,
far as your
right,
video
right.
goes?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So that makes a lot of sense. Is kind of detaching yourself from making it your baby because like you said, like all the stuff coming off the top of your head, all your creative views that you're thinking about, your music, all that stuff. Now it's your baby and your video. So it
right.
feels a lot it stings a lot more when they're like, oh, hey, I don't really like the music and oh,
Yeah,
can you clip it here? And I don't really
yeah.
middle scene. And you're just like, well,
I
you didn't come up with any ideas when we were
Right,
shooting it.
right. Like, where were you at
Exactly.
24 hours ago, bud?
You're like, I spent 2 days on editing this junk, and like now you want me to do another several hours on it because you didn't have any input when we were shooting.
Real talk.
So okay, so one of the tips for new photographers, videographers, stuff like that, especially videographers is being able to speak up and be like, all right, what do you want? Like what's your vision? I'm here to give you the product.
I
So
mean,
let's work through it right now together
yes.
instead of just being like, oh, well, I don't know. You do whatever you
Don't put
want.
it on me.
Yeah. I
I
hate
don't
when
know
I hear
what
that.
you want.
I hate when I hear that too with my photography is like when you get those clients that are just like, oh, well, I don't know I've never done this before. So just kind of just do whatever you want. Like you're the professional, you do what you want.
No.
And then you start doing the pictures, you do all that, and you send it to them, and they're like, oh, well, you know, can you send me all the photos? Can you
Right. Yeah. I
do
want
it?
to do it myself. And
Yeah,
get
you're just
out of
like,
here.
nah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Oh, can
Yeah.
you just took all the photos? So I have a junk drive with me. That's the worst one I hate is like, oh, I have a junk drive with me. Can you just like give me all the photos? Like,
That's crazy.
no, I can't. You paid
That's
for
crazy.
this package, this much photos. These are how much photos you get to pick and have. Like that's
Yeah, for sure. I definitely see where you're coming from with the packages. I had the packages back in the day. I had
Mhm,
the, if you want the other ones, you're gonna have to pay. And then after a while, I really like I noticed that people didn't really care that much. And then
mhm.
by the time 6 months came up and I was deleting everything and throwing it all in the trash, I was like, in my head, I was like, I could just send these to them, and they could have
Yeah.
them before I delete them because that's where they were going. They were going in the trash.
Hmm.
So essentially, I started to do 10 edits, plus you keep all the unedited, and that'll be the done, done.
Okay. Then you won't be hitting me up 6 months from now, like, hey, it's been a
Yeah.
while, and do you still have those photos? I'd like to pay
I
for
mean,
extra.
yeah, that plus like, I mean, nobody really wanted the unedited enough to pay me for it. So I was like, why
Mm.
am I trying to sell unedited photos? Here, just take your
Okay,
photos. You get what I'm
gotcha.
saying?
Okay,
Like I get like trying to make $1, but I mean, you know what I mean? I
I
mean, what are
feel
you
you.
gonna do with them except throw them away?
Exactly. And I remember I was talking to you before about it when you were like, bro, you still carry like all the photos on you? You were like, okay. I was like, yeah, 'cause,
Yeah.
people might ask me for them, and then you were like, okay, you're gonna get tired of that real quick. Like, you're just like basically a storage of tens of thousands
Yeah,
of
no
photos now.
way. I
Like,
got work to do. I
and
got work to do.
I'm starting to get those messages now where people are like, oh, hey, it's been 9 months since we took photos. Do you still got those
Damn.
photos of our event, whatever? I'm like,
Damn.
yeah, I still got them. They're like, oh, okay, can we see them again? And can we? And I'm just like, it's one of those things where it's like you said, taking the photos, giving you your photos, and then being done with it. Like,
Yeah.
you don't feel that energy and like that creative like juices flowing to go back into like super old photos from a super old job that they're like, oh, can we get some more edits from those? Like, here, I'll pay you. And
Right.
you're just like,
Right.
I'm not trying to, I'm not like, I already
It
have insecurities about my work as is. Like, I'm not trying to look at
right.
trash work that I did, 9
Right.
months
Right.
ago
Right.
that
Right.
I'm not
Right. Right.
happy with.
Right.
I've already
Right.
like advanced so far since that 9 months. Now I got to go back and look at
That's
all the
facts.
mistakes I made on
That's
the shoot.
facts. That's
The
facts.
angles, the lighting was off because I learned this now. Like,
Man.
bruh.
Man. That is so funny.
Okay, so that's I guess that's where I'm at as well, is like the packages, like because I feel like you give people options, because I was doing the same thing, like, all right, it's going to be started off at like $100, like, all right, cool, and then people just being like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And I'm like, okay, so I'll do these photos, I'll do it for 3 to 4 months, and then maybe I'll just raise my prices by like $20 or something, like just small little jumps, because I'm thinking like, those insecurities of like, is my work worth the increase that I'm
Right.
trying to do? And then you get caught up so much as far as like, am I good enough, or am I worth the amount? What's my worth, basically? That you forget that, people are willing to kind of just pay you whatever you're kind of worth. They're coming for you for something. And
Mhm.
majority of the time, what do you lose out on by just saying, like, instead of that $20 bump, like, yo, it's been 8 months. I've learned so much. My skills have improved by so much. It's now 150. And then, another couple weeks or months go by, and then, all right, now it's 250. Like just making those jumps. And people, like you said, some people will stop calling you, but
Mhm.
some people will start calling you and paying those rates that you're charging, as long as
Right,
you're
right. As I feel like as long as you could differentiate friends and family discount versus real clientele price, then you're straight.
okay.
You're straight.
What is your, do you have a friends and family discount popping?
Yeah, well, friends and family, it's always 150 no matter what. No
Okay.
matter what it is. Like, and I only say that like as a starting point. So if
Hmm.
it's an event, then I'll do like two, I'll charge them for 2 hours, but I'll stay for 3 hours. So $300 for 3 hours if I do an event.
Okay.
If it's a video, You know what I mean? Instead of 250, I'll charge them 150. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I got you.
And if they want to do a photo shoot, it's 150. So it's pretty much is that's all. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Hmm.
it's just that's pretty much my rate, period. If somebody were like, what's your hourly rate? 150.
Okay. So you're just like
You get what I'm
150 right
saying?
off the bat. Got you. So it's just
Yeah.
quick
Like,
150. Then
yeah.
you start telling me what you want to do, and I start telling you how long
Mhm.
that's going to take to get that. I
Yeah.
guess that's where I'm at right now, bro. I'm still at the phase where I'm like, I got family coming in. They want photos. They're like, oh, your photography is getting so good. Can you take family photos? Can you take photos of your nephews,
Family
your
discount
nieces
for
and stuff?
sure.
Yeah. So I'm just like, yeah, I still struggle with that where I'm just like, all right, family will come in. I'll take everybody's photos and stuff like that. I'll just
Just
do the portraits and I'm just like, all right, cool,
yeah,
guys.
as long as nothing's free, you're good.
Exactly. And I guess I'm feeling like, because I'll have some friends come in too, like, oh, can you take photos? And I'll give them my rate. And, and I guess like, of course I'll discount it. I'll be like, all right, it's 150. Like I did another job, a birthday party, for instance, 150. And then you'll have people that are like, oh, well, can you do it for 100 or can you do it for like, it's just like, oh, bro, now we're haggling. Like, I feel like if anyone that I know has started a business, I want to pay you your rate. Like, what's your rate? I'm paying you
Yeah.
that rate. Like, I'm contributing towards the growth of your business, supporting you and your business. Like,
Right.
you should want
I
to
mean,
pay your rate. Say, I feel like the same way with family too. I'm like, man, like I've had family members that have started
yeah.
up businesses, and I'm like, I'm not trying to look for no discounts. You started up a business.
Right.
I'm paying you what your business is charging. Like, I joke
Yeah.
around with you sometimes about, oh, give me a discount and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
still gonna pay your rate. Like,
Right.
I'm not gonna try to get nothing for free. I'm not gonna try to like, skimp on anything. Like, I'm just gonna,
Right. You lead by example. You know what I mean? You pay
mhm.
everyone else their wage, their rate.
Yeah.
And then you be like, yeah, I don't want no discount because you're definitely not getting one over here. That's literally what I
You're like,
say. You know what I
you're not
mean?
getting a
I'm like,
discount from
nah,
me.
don't give me nothing free, homie. Because I ain't giving you nothing free.
We ain't doing no trades. You ain't gonna do
Nah,
no, oh,
man.
six
I mean,
months
there's
ago.
sometimes obviously this is your skill set, this is your money. Like you're holding dollar signs. So you're like, I'm getting a massage this week, or no, next weekend, or next week, 90 minutes and like oil add-on, a hot
Oh,
oil add-on, and I'm gonna make her a video.
oh, dang. This boy got a whole 2 hour massage off that bug.
Mhm.
All right, I got you.
Yeah,
I got a promo video for you. Boom, right there.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then another woman, I'm gonna trade her for 3-day juice cleanse, and I'm gonna make her a video. And then I'm gonna go to my boy who does boxing training, and I'm gonna do 4 boxing trainings a month, and I'm gonna make him one reel and give him 10 photos.
I guess that's something I haven't tapped into yet. It's like, bro, you're
Yeah,
creative.
I'm using my skills as money, bro.
You're
Bro.
like, this is my currency, God.
Yeah,
Right there. You're like,
yeah,
I'm trying to get it up to now. I'm talking to my landlord. I'm gonna do some. You
yeah.
got me
I've been
making units. I got the videos popping for you. Rent
yeah,
free for 6 months.
yeah. My personal trainer, I've been training with him for 8 months now, and
Okay.
I make him like 1 to 2 videos a month because I work out with him like 3 days a week.
Okay, I think I've been seeing that on your Instagram too, like whenever
Yeah,
you're there working out and stuff like that. So he's the
yeah.
one that you've been making the videos for because I've seen a couple of them where you've
Hmm.
had videos in that same gym that you're working out.
Yeah. And then I
Okay.
made, you know what I mean? And then I offered a lot of the women in there free videos
Oh,
for
okay.
promotion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like inviting someone to lunch. I pay for it. I'm not gonna expect you to pay for it.
Yeah,
If I'm
yeah, yeah.
asking you, I would like to shoot you in a video, I'm not gonna charge you.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I utilize them to kind of keep marketing myself, and then guys were coming and they were paying.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I figured that was a great way as well. It's like differentiating, like, all right, I'm doing this free work, but free work with a purpose to it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just like free work for the sense of free work. It's like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, I'm doing these girls in the gym because I know they got 15, 20 other girls that either they know personally or that
Right,
on
100.
Instagram, they're going to see the
Exactly.
video that are going to be like, yo, where'd you get it from? And
Exactly.
here's my card. This is what you're supposed to give them. Let them know,
Mhm.
come to me. I got them.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess that's where I still need to pick up my stuff at is like, all right, I'm starting to get into videos more. I have more people asking me for them. So starting to kind of use it as a currency. Like, all right, cool.
Mhm.
There's this person here that's doing this. He needs a promo video, or I can just pitch it to him. Like, yo, I see that your Instagram doesn't have any of that stuff up there. You don't have any advertisement up there. I can hook you up,
Yeah,
video.
there you go. Everybody needs content.
Everybody needs content, and
Everybody needs content, so go get your free shit.
like there's plenty of free shit out there for you to get.
Yeah, go to
You just
hotels, tell
post,
them, and they'll let you stay there for free.
bro. That's the dream right there. Those people that I see, the videographers that travel around like the hotels and
They hit them up
destinations.
first.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like they gotta hit them up
They
and
do.
like work the advo. Like, all right, cool. I'll come there. You let
Yeah,
me stay there a couple of days. I got my drone.
I'll shoot 3 of your bungalows. I'll do your angles, your photos, and I'll do a drone fly out.
Mm-hmm. You let me
And
stay there.
they'll make you do it as soon as you check in though.
Have you ever gotten any of those jobs?
No, I
No.
no because I don't reach out for those jobs. My
Okay.
friend does. And so that's what they made him do right when the flight touched down.
They're like, all right, well,
They're like, all right, take the pictures.
yeah, we have
Before you
bungalow.
relax, before you chill out, go take those
You
pictures.
jet lagged as a
I just
bug.
got off this jet.
You ain't even used the bathroom yet. You're like, damn, all right,
No,
well,
nothing.
they're like,
Nothing.
go take the photos. Thank
Yeah, let's
you.
do this right now.
Get those
But
edits popping.
there's another way of there's another thing of like friends or family when you come into difficult conversations. I honestly, I would just have them buy something off of my Amazon list.
Okay. Wow.
So
I mean,
if you
that's a good thing to have as well. Like,
yeah, if you got
they're a chip in.
if you got a bunch of shit on there, it's 110 or 75 for a battery or 125, just charge them.
Hmm.
Just be like, go, give me my battery, give me this and give me that, and then we're good. We'll
Yeah.
do the photo shoot. You need the stuff anyway.
Yeah, of course. You're gonna buy
So
it anyways.
they're weird about giving you cash because that's just weird.
Yeah.
So they would be essentially more inclined to buying you something that they know. It's almost like some people are just reluctant on handing over green paper.
Hmm.
It's harder in cash that they actually work for it. So it's like it's really tough. So
Okay.
if you wanted to turn it into like goods, I would say that would be one way of getting over that. You'd be like, all right, I just need this.
Hmm.
I'm charging you this, what I need. My
Okay.
equipment. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's some good advice. I'm definitely gonna be using that. So,
Yeah.
all right, I wanted to ask you another question.
Okay.
Um, what are some of the adversities that you faced being in photography and videography? And what was like the first big mistake that you ever made, and how did you handle that? How did you get through that?
I feel like the adversities that I ran into,
Hmm.
I feel like it was just my own negative thought process. You
Yeah.
know, it's like you want to be the best. You want people to remind you or tell you that you're the best. Because I was really big into validation back in the day.
Hmm.
So it's like one of those things where it's like it's hard to do things for no applause or no no hits on the back, pats on the back or whatever. It kind of sucks.
You get a
yeah,
reluctant text back like, "Hey, yeah, we got the photos," and you're still waiting, or you get,
yeah,
"Yeah, we got the video,"
yeah.
and you're like, "Okay, with it."
Yeah, like you like us? All right.
I hate when you send them and they're like, "Oh yeah, well we're not home right now," or "I'm gonna check it out later."
Yeah.
You're like, "Bro, now I gotta wait all day." I
Right.
sent
What
these
would
out
you hit me
specific.
up about?
Like, can you hit me up before 5? Damn it! They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm at work or something. I'll check it out later. I'll text you later." You don't
Yeah,
hear back from them all day. You stressing.
right. It was I think it was yeah, that was pretty much one of the things I had to get over.
Hmm.
But one of the most common mistakes that I ran into was honestly just saying yes to something because I was like broke,
Oh, okay.
doing something I didn't want to do, like something I clearly did not, it was not my niche.
Hmm.
I just said yeah to it because I needed money.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where it's just like it was a lot of lessons. Like my negative thoughts, my seek for validation was keeping me, in a lower frequency. You know what I mean? So the
Hmm.
money was coming, but it was coming in little spurts. Just because I
Yeah.
have friends, I have a lot of friends. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So that's the only way. But when I really just kind of like went out there and said, look, I'm gonna focus on one thing, become doing this content the right way, producing something great, giving it back, and then including customer service into it.
Okay.
Customer service is a huge part of it, like calling them back, emailing them thank you, and all of that stuff works. It's so
Hmm.
crazy because they come back to you faster. It's the craziest thing. Like
Okay.
I get somebody a week later was like, hey, or 2 weeks later, and I was like, hey, just want to make sure do everything good, do like all the video, everything's working out. They're like, yeah, matter of fact, I need to do it again. I was like, okay.
Okay.
I was like, that's right. I forgot about customer service.
All right. So
Sometimes
that's
we
one
get
of the,
so stuck on creating, you forget there are people,
yeah.
you know.
I feel like that's something I need to work on as well. It's like you finish a job up and you're so like kind of excited to finish the job, see if they like it. And
Yeah.
when you get that validation of like, oh yeah, we love it, it was great. And you just like, okay, on to the next thing. Like that,
Yep.
that's done. And I'm okay, I'm
Peace out.
peace out. Bye. All right. I got that last deposit from you. Cool.
Yeah,
Everything went
it's your
through.
job to keep on them. Keep on them.
Okay, so making sure that you that's a good tip for people listening right now. It's just like
Yeah.
customer service is key. Keep on them.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? Did you like the video? Everything working out? Stuff like that. And I guess once you keep that in people's minds, they're more likely to book again because they're like, oh yeah, my
Right.
friend actually saw it. He's actually been asking for your number, and
Partnership program too.
yeah, you've just reminded me that this person wants one or this person wants one. So okay, and
Yeah. If your friend books with me, I got you 20 bucks,
mhm.
whatever, $50, whatever it was, you know what I mean?
Okay, okay. And all right, I got another question here. So for people out there that are looking into getting into the videography field, but just don't know how or where to start, can you explain, give them a little blueprint as far as like, look, this is where you could start at, this is what you can start doing, little
No,
step.
for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things like once you get the camera, you got to really be you really got to come to terms on what it is that you want to do
Hmm.
for the next year to 3 years to 5 years to 10 years, right?
Okay.
So I think it's one of those things where which I learned later because I'm such a sporadic, creative, and intelligent human being. I did 5 different niches, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And like in the span of 3 months or 3 years.
Oh wow.
And then it was finally where it was like, okay, I'm doing so much that I wasn't having consistent clientele because
Mm.
nobody could tell what it is that I actually do. They're like, do you do weddings? Do you do YouTube videos? Do you do testimonials? Do you do family? Do you do boudoir? Do
Mm.
you do nude? Do you do, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
it was so much that I just wanted to do
Hmm.
the beginning. I was just like putting out everything. I was going, playing, taking pictures of high schools and the cheerleading competitions and this and that. And I didn't even have a camera for that. I had a Canon T6 with a 50 millimeter lens
Bro was
on the
struggling.
field.
You backing up way. They're you hate it when they're like, oh, can you do a group shot? You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can't.
You're like,
So yeah, so I mean, honestly, you really have to. I mean, honestly, you really have to get the equipment for the things that you're interested in.
mhm,
Right? It's consistency. We all know that.
yeah.
And it's community too. Community is really going to keep your, so that's why you have to give back to the community. You have to, because those people are the ones that are keeping your bills paid, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's like, I mean, like I said, with the blueprint is like, first off, get the camera, get a good camera,
Okay.
get a good camera
So
that comes with
do you
a
recommend like
microphone jack.
okay, so do you recommend like just dropping the money that you need to drop on a good camera so that way you don't have to upgrade later on. You can just get the
Right.
good
I
one out
mean,
the way.
it's like essentially it'll be your first camera, and so learning something like that when you're new to a skill set, I guess I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
The more in tuned you are,
Okay.
you learn faster, and then you're like, and then before you meet a veteran, and you could use more of the stuff on your camera just because you were in that mind frame of wanting to soak everything in versus a veteran who's went through multiple cameras and got to the Sony camera and just wants to use it for the button.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Because
I
there's a
got
bunch
you.
of stuff this thing does, and I have not used it because I'm so old school when it comes to that camera. Just I'm here to take pictures.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't know what the zebra line's got to do with anything. Just turn it off.
yeah. That bug ain't turned on at all.
Turn it off. No, but like literally, seriously, it's like one of those things where it just know what it is. What do you want to do?
Okay.
What is your purpose with this camera? And if you're trying to bring people and just bring smiles to multiple people, or if you're trying to bring um if you're trying to capture people's beauty, then you really need to stay in that field and just
Hmm.
really dig deep and see what's popular, what's necessary. Headshots are necessary,
Yeah.
real estate's necessary. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Modeling is cool, but there's no really not that much money unless you get booked by a magazine.
Hmm.
So it's
Right.
like stick in your lane, get
Yeah.
your money, and get better at it.
Okay. I've been
Yeah,
learning that too with the models, bro. Like it sounds glorious, it sounds fun as hell, but it's just
yeah,
like,
that's yeah,
bro, models are flaky as hell.
yeah,
Like, bruh,
yeah,
especially if you're doing like some promo stuff, if you're doing like, all right, I'm doing this photo shoot for you for free. You need to go tell all your friends about me. And
yeah,
then I feel like when you don't charge them, bro, they just don't respect your time, man. It's just like it gets rescheduled. They hit you up last minute. Oh, I'm sorry, I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
My
yeah,
friends are
yeah.
in town. You're like, bruh.
When ain't them money?
You're
Yeah,
like, I talked to you all week. I talked to
yeah,
you this morning. You said everything was good. Now here comes an hour before shoot time, and now all
yeah,
of a sudden you forgot, or there's something that came up,
yep.
and I see your Instagram. You over at
I
eating
didn't
brunch.
hear from you.
Yeah, or you don't hear from them, and then you see on their Instagram that they're eating brunch or something, and then they hit
Yeah.
you up later on that night, like, "Oh, so my bad. I'm so sorry. I'll make it up." And
Oh shit.
you're just like, "Bro, respect my time." So
Oh, for real.
it's one of those things where I stopped. I'm kind of like weaning off of like supermodel shoots, unless it's like, all right. That's one of the reasons I think I had to just start taking deposits, because before I wasn't taking any deposits at all. I was just like, all right, yeah, cool. This is what the rate is. You pay me on the day of, blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and then you would get the flakers. You would get the ones like, oh, can
Yep.
I do it next Friday? Because I'm getting paid, and
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
bro, I've been talking to you all day, all week up until this point. Now there's something going wrong. And it's like I only started getting the models to actually commit when it was like, all right, 50% down. Like, you
Right.
want to do this 50% down now. You have you have like 24 hours to like cancel or reschedule. If not,
Yeah.
if you do it like an hour before the shoot, you losing your deposit. Like that deposit is gone. You put down another deposit, and then we can move forward with another shoot. And I figured I found out that I got such good behavior from that. Like right, it's weird when you have to say it, but it's like you got models that were actually behaving, like
Yeah, yeah.
not
You have
canceling last minute,
to
respecting
create
your
those
time.
boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. Boundaries. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to just like, be all willy nilly, like, oh, yeah,
Right,
bro.
right. You ain't just be blowing my time.
Exactly. Like, I got stuff to do. This is my time too. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
I'm not here just waiting on you. Like, I ain't got nothing to do today, or I couldn't have been doing something else.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, that was good advice as far as the blueprint goes. Um, and I think I wanted to wrap it up with another question. Okay. So yeah, wrapping it up, what piece of advice do you have for people that are building a brand besides the like actually knowing what you want to shoot? Like what's some key advice you can give somebody that's just starting to build their brand, has no idea,
Yeah.
never built a brand before, and they're just like,
Um, depending on the brand itself, like let's say if they're the brand or if they
mhm.
have a clothing brand, which one would you like?
So if they're their brand.
If they're their brand,
Mhm.
oh, okay. Um, honestly, I mean, if they're their brand, then the way I look at it is everything's marketable, right?
Yeah.
So let's say they're a travel vlogger
Okay.
since they're a brand, right? So they're
Mhm.
they're technically trying to be an influencer, right?
Mhm.
So now we have to figure out what is one of their passions. So we got fitness, we got travelers, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got digital content creator, marketer, influencers,
Yeah.
right? My first thing I tell brands is to break it down into the year. So we do quarters. So every 3 months, um, you should be having like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a IG live. You need to do certain like tricks and trades to get people to come to you, right? You got to offer some type of like tips that help with growth, money, YouTube. I mean, people are trying to learn how to make money doing print on demand, YouTube, podcasts, Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So pretty much what I've been saying, brands, I was like break it down for each month, and then each month have like a campaign. So you're focused on a certain thing. You're making content. You're breaking it down to like 4 videos a month, posting 3 times a week, sharing stories 7 times a week. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Everything has to be broken down and everything has to be intentional because once you start, you cannot take a break.
Right.
So
That's
that's
true.
my advice for brands. If you start, I mean, if you're going to start right now just because you have ants in your pants and you want to have like the Instagram page and then you want to throw a picture and then you're still working on your LLC, you're still working on the who's going to print your shirts or if you're even going to travel in the next 6 months, like everything should just be put on hold until you're ready to launch and have all that content.
Mm-hmm.
And people like seeing grassroots, so show a lot of BTS of your own life, which means people actually care about what your morning routine is, your daily routine is, your daily habits, your eating habits, and if you go out and how much money you spend.
Mm-hmm. I
So you need to be that should be on the forefront.
Okay.
You should be showing people if you're the brand itself, that means people are supposed to learn off of you
Mm-hmm.
or gain something, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, when I travel here, I do this, this, this. I got this ticket for $150. Let me show you how. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
So that's my thing. I always tell the brand because I call myself. I'm a brand consultant as well. And so I help people roll out campaigns
Mm-hmm.
for the brands.
Okay.
We only not only do we take pictures and I make videos for them, I also strategize a whole uh, what am I saying? Strategize their whole
Brand campaign.
brand campaign
Okay.
and
And
the launch of their
I feel like that's something I'm also like starting to realize now too. It's like you get
Mhm.
in that zone where you're like you said, like a lot of stuff is content. Like a majority of the stuff that you're doing, especially if you're your own brand, everything is content. So people,
Content
like
is
you said,
king.
people want to know what you're doing in the morning, what your skin routine is, what you
Yeah,
eat, what you're doing in the
yeah,
afternoon. They want the footage of you doing your editing and clipping
yeah.
the little clips and like you just kind of talking. So I feel like I get in my own head, and I know a lot of other creators get in their own heads as far as like, bruh, does anybody really want to see me fucking washing my face or something, or like, hey, this is the food, like,
Yeah,
this is me
yeah,
just sitting at the
facts.
computer, and
Uh-huh.
um, and then I start thinking about like, well, shit, I watch plenty of people who I follow a ton of creatives who are doing exactly what I'm thinking nobody wants to see. I'm interested in seeing in other people. So it's like
Yeah,
I like seeing the glow ups. Like people
yeah.
start from really nothing, and then you start seeing like they're doing their little podcasts or doing little vlogs, and then you start seeing like upgrades to my favorite thing is like watching upgrades to their place where it's like
Uh-huh.
they'll be in their room with crappy lighting and the
Yeah.
shitty camera, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden
yeah.
6 months later the camera's better and they got a nice mic now, and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
year later then the apartment's different, like it
Right.
was just a room, now it's like an apartment with a flat floor plan, nice
Nah, yeah, that's
view.
cool.
So it's
Yeah.
like always seeing the glow ups, and I guess remembering that since this is your brand, people are interested. Somebody told me that, like gave me that advice, like people are interested in you and following you. So you
Mhm.
You have to get in front of the camera. You need to start talking more. You need to start doing like the vlogs at your shoots. Like, all right, record yourself, you and the model next to each other,
Yeah.
talking about what you're doing, setting up the camera on the side as it's viewing you doing the shoot.
Yeah.
You just have to let people in basically. And I feel like since I am used to just being behind the camera, like
Mhm.
I don't really enjoy being in front of the camera at all. Like I have people like offer, oh, let me take like other photographers, let me take photos of you, or let me do videos of you or something. And I'm just like, it's never been anything that I've been into. I've always just like kind of just like being behind the scenes, being behind my camera, like just not really talking to my camera or being in
Yeah.
front of the camera at all. So I guess that's a little thing I'm trying to get over as well. It's like, all right, I got to be in front of the camera more. I got to stop worrying about like, oh, what does my voice sound like, or what is my, what do I look like? And I guess all the insecurities come up as far as like, okay, I might not have the best voice, or I might not look the best for film or for like doing my little talking vlogs and stuff like that.
Right.
I feel like we just get caught up in um, the opinions of a small group of people, maybe you went to high school with, you went to college with, or
Right.
something like that, like their opinion rather than the grand scheme of things. You're always thinking
Right.
about that small, selective few of people
Yeah.
that, you've known for a long time, like your best friends, the people you went to high school with, grew up with, your family, and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what, are they gonna think I'm stupid? Like, what are they gonna think about seeing me record a film, doing a podcast,
Right.
talking? Like, what are they gonna think? And just kind of like switching that switch off, where you're like, all right, whatever, they're gonna think what they're gonna think, but I do know they're gonna watch the story. They're gonna still follow, and they're gonna watch the glow up or the growth.
100%.
Yeah. So yeah, man. All right. So that's good. That's good as far as the brand building. All
Yes.
right. Is everything is content. Make sure that you're getting all of that stuff in, and
Yeah.
people want to see it. Like, and we all follow somebody who's doing the same thing that you're just talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is, and it's like I always say, it's like live what you preach and love what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And don't consistently watch others live out a life that you truly see for yourself,
Mm.
because
That's
it's hard for you not to compare when you're on social media 24/7.
I got you.
As much as social media is part of your job, it isn't part of your job spending 8 hours on Instagram.
Mm. That's heavy
That's
right
not
there.
part of your job. That was never part of the job description when you started a business on there. You don't have to be on Instagram, but for an hour or two to get a client and respond back and book that and be
Mm-hmm.
done with it.
I got
You like literally you get notified when you get messages from clients. So surfing and swiping and double tapping, that has no, it has no value.
you. Yeah.
It has no value. So I don't really watch people's stories. And if you see me like a post, it's because I take an hour or something out of my day to just scroll down and like everything.
Okay.
Because uh, you got to play to play. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course.
You got to play, and they'll pay you with more exposure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
The algorithm starts kicking in. You gotta.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
can't just be.
So I think that's the only reason why people compare themselves to anyone, is because if you're gonna keep watching someone who has like a good routine and they're posting every day on time with
Mm-hmm.
content that makes sense,
Yeah.
and you're like, damn, I knew I could do that. I've had 20 more of those ideas than he has, and you still haven't done it,
Exactly.
then you should unfollow him, because that, I think if you were in the field and then you followed people that were in your field, that works versus following people before you started. Does that make sense?
Okay, I got you. So, so following people that are in your field rather than following the people that are in the field you want to get into, because that just keeps you from doing it because you're looking at this other person who's
Dude,
like
yeah,
on
yeah,
time, content every
yeah,
day,
yeah.
boom, two, three
But they
posts.
that took them 5 years to get there, or
Exactly. And you're
three
just like,
years. But
you're
you're
like, I'll
there
never be
month
able to.
one.
Mm-hmm. You're like,
And
I'm still trying to
it,
figure out how to clip my videos together and make
exactly. You don't even
shorts.
know how to write caption on top of the reels. You know what I mean? To
Exactly.
drop info.
And you're just like, nah, it's too much. You're worrying
And then
about
it
all
makes
the
you
20
sit
steps.
for 2 years. Yeah, it makes you
Exactly.
sit for 2 years because you're thinking for 2 years. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
thinking, trying to build up the
Courage.
courage to go do it. And then when you get to
Mhm.
that point, you stop and you don't move forward, and you just think about the time that you lost when you do start it. Like it's like
Yeah.
one of
You'll
those
be like,
things that
damn.
it's a never ending cycle of like, all right,
Yeah.
I sat for 2 years. Well, I wasted all this time. I can't start now because I mean, it took me 2 years to start it. You know, I've passed the point of like people caring or something, or like I've missed the wave of doing it.
Mhm.
You just kind of stay in that little cycle of like, I feel like that's where I was at when I was doing security as well. It was just like, okay, I want to do photography. I want to get into it. I want to give it the
Yeah.
respect that it deserves. But then, can I really start that? Am I good enough to start that? I'm on Instagram
Right.
watching everybody's beautiful photos and their
Mhm.
updates and their on time, just boom, 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 clients and all that stuff, and just becoming more insecure about it. And then next thing you know, you don't realize how much time passes when you're just in your mind thinking about it. Next thing you know, you wake up, it's 3 years later, and you're like, bruh, like I still
Mhm.
haven't started. It's still something I continuously tell people I want to do.
Right.
They ask you about it, and here you are 3 years later. Nothing has started. Nothing's
Right.
like. I think Joe Rogan said it. He was like, "Stop complaining about the time that you wasted getting to this point. Just worry about you now at this point and what you're going to do moving forward
Mhm.
from now. Like, stop
Yes,
thinking about
sir.
all that time that passed. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm in my 30s. Can I really start this and stuff? It's like,
Oh, what?
fuck all that. Just start. You're here now.
Yeah. Real
From right
shit.
now on, let's go. Like,
Real
stop
shit.
thinking in short-term stints, like you said. Like,
Mhm.
start thinking in bigger. Start doing stuff now and creating habits for the future you, for
Yes.
you know 40-year-old you to be successful. I feel like the
Yes.
majority of us just kind of stay in like, what can I get from it right now? Like, all right,
Right.
like you said, like I need money, so let me just do jobs I don't really like,
Mhm.
and I'm not satisfied. Like, what steps can I be making every single day that makes 40-year-old me, 45-year-old me,
Right.
like in the position that I want to be at that time? So let's
Mhm.
start branching it out. Like, all right, 5 years from now, where do I want to be? Break that
Yeah.
down. Like, okay, what do I
Right.
need to start doing?
Yes. That's beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So finishing it up, I have a couple of quick fire questions. Just something that comes to your mind when I ask you the questions. Just go ahead and just answer them out.
All right.
Um, let's see. Okay, so first question is, if you had to start from scratch again, would you? And what would you do differently?
Honestly, I would stick to video. I would stick to the director side of things, kind of like your friend that went, the people that you knew that went to high school and then he was going to college and he started directing that. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. Life happens for you that fast when you know exactly what it is that you want to do.
Yeah,
So
bro.
since I wanted to be five different things, I spent 5 years, 6 years of my life learning five different things, but moving 1 year in each of those,
Okay, got you.
but in 6 years. You
Instead
get
of
what I'm
6 years
saying?
ahead in the thing that you wanted to do, got you.
I split it up between six different things.
Mm-hmm.
I went through so many changes because I was like, oh, this is not it. Because essentially I wanted to always be a director. But since I didn't see myself in that, you know, in that, I guess I didn't believe in myself
Mm.
to get to that point. So I was like, what can I do that would make more sense for me? Like, what can I be successful in? Because I ain't trying to fail shit.
You're like, I'm not trying to fail, damn it. And which we all need too. It's like we don't want to fail, but we all know that we
Right.
need to
But
fail.
we
It's
have to fail. But you know what I mean? I mean, and that, and I mean, not saying I can't get my second wind right now and put my all into becoming a director, but I'm in a lot of different places in my life right now.
Mhm.
I think I gave myself enough time to sit with the thought of being a director of short films and doing things. I'll probably do it later in life, but
Okay.
as of right now, I think it's one of those things where you just have to put it to rest and really focus on something that you know is of substance,
Hmm.
which is my nonprofit organization. So saying this out loud, what I want to do is I want to be a CEO of a nonprofit organization that is helping tens of thousands of families.
Okay. That's amazing.
So that's what I'm focused on.
Speaking it into the ether right now, bro. Right here.
Yeah,
This is it. Just
yeah.
looking into it.
If I become a film director fucking at 45, there's nothing but time. I
Nothing
have
but time.
nothing but time. And everything changes in a year. All you have to
Mhm.
do is hit people in the DM. They set something up. Then next thing you know, you're shooting with someone 2 years down the line, and 2 years goes by anyway.
Yeah,
So might as well be doing something that's gonna turn into your dream.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the second one is if you could work with anyone, who would it be? Do you have anybody you follow right now? Anybody that, if you could work with you,
Directors, yeah, Quentin Tarantino,
Quentin Tarantino? Okay.
Steven Steven Spielberg, but like Quentin Tarantino mostly.
Okay. Of course.
Yeah,
What draws you to their filming style?
Quentin Tarantino, it really got me. It was when he uses old school jams in his
Mm,
movies.
yeah,
Uh,
bro.
it's always like just real cool as jams, rock and rock and roll and grunge and rap, and it's just everything. He always has some like live music, James Brown, and what's another one? I wish I could tell you off the top of my head, but yeah, I mean, I listen to the soundtracks of his movies because those songs are so good.
Yeah, bro. Especially how he's able to like,
Kill Bill,
oh, Kill Bill,
that music
Django,
is
like
great.
taking us back in time, but also kind of keeping it current enough with
Hmm.
us, but
Yeah,
also taking us on this like journey into the past with old
yeah,
movies as well, but making it kind of more current for us
yeah.
to kind of digest.
I love
Uh,
those movies,
Bro,
man.
love it. Quentin's a master, bro. There's
Yeah,
Reservoir
he's crazy
Dogs,
good,
the Pulp
weirdo.
Fiction, bro.
But those are that's the people. That's the funny part. Those are the people that make movies.
Hmm.
Just not saying all of them are weird, but they have like this inept thing with socializing. They really
Hmm.
do choose. They really do choose their passion over being a socialite.
Yeah.
And majority of humankind wants to be a socialite more than anything
Mm.
else.
Especially now, I heard that they ask those questions to kids now when, 30 years ago, when you ask a kid, like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? Most majority was
Firefighter.
like firefighter, police officer, astronaut. Now it's like YouTuber, influencer, uh,
Damn.
TikToker. Like that's what kids are answering now you know,
Evolution, baby.
with the evolution of it. So I guess we'll see what it turns out to be, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Number three is if you weren't in your current field, what would you be doing? I remember, I mean, I guess that goes back to what you just said, the nonprofit, right?
No, the nonprofit was started after the Leadership Academy, but before the Leadership Academy, I was in the Fire Academy. I would be a
Ah,
firefighter right now.
bro, this guy wanted to be them. Want to be knocking down them fires, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Damn, bro. I
yeah.
just seen that they had a documentary on Netflix where it was with the inmates, like they have all the inmates from juvenile facilities and stuff like that, and how they rehabilitate them. They're able to like if good behavior, stuff like that. In juvie, you'd be able to sign up for the firefighter program and you'll get out of the juvenile facility and you'll go stay up in the mountains in California.
Oh yeah, do the
All
California State. Yeah,
yeah, so the California State firefighters and like learn how to do, brush the fires, learn how to like do all of that stuff, and then you're actually being used during all those fires up there. Like all the fires here in
yeah.
California, they'd actually use a lot of juveniles, and I guess they're trying to change the law right now because a lot of those juveniles like want to become firefighters afterwards, but
Yeah.
there's not a program for them to switch over into that after they've served their time. Like in juvie, like all right, you have a 2 year stint, 3 year stint,
Got you.
you could have been doing being a firefighter that whole time while you're in juvie, like
Right.
actually doing everything, putting out fires, involved in like however many fires are here in
That's
California.
dope.
And then when you got out, like say you done your time and they're letting you out, there wouldn't be a program to accept them as firefighters. Like most of those kids wouldn't even be able to become firefighters
Right.
because they have a
Exactly.
record. So they're
Hmm.
trying to change that. But that's dope that you, I mean, I always have an appreciation for firefighters, bro. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, bro.
man,
Yeah,
they the superheroes that you need. It's like if something
for
go wrong, they there.
real.
Okay, so it'd be a firefighter, huh?
Yeah,
Bro, okay.
somewhere in the medical field.
Okay. And last one is what is um your favorite person so far you've worked with? If you can say a favorite person, favorite job that you had doing what you're doing right now.
I would say my favorite project was when I was making like a lot of series during the pandemic.
Oh, okay. I remember when you were doing all those clips when we watched majority of those clips, you were doing the drone stuff with at the beaches that were empty and
Oh yeah, yeah, that. Yeah, but I was making like I had like this series called This Is Me.
okay.
I had like 16 episodes and it was just like me asking people on Instagram to pull up. It was like one person at a time. Like each day I was filming and I would ask them the same questions and then I would just post it on Instagram because I know that people follow, but they don't know the person they're following. They just know what they're offering by their posts. So I was like,
Hmm.
hey, why don't we make a video that you could just share to your followers and let them get to know you?
Okay. So it
So,
also touches back into the brand creation, like already kind of showing people how to like, all right, this is what you should be doing for your
mhm.
brand, let people get to
I
know
mean,
you.
they were regular people, you know what I mean? They
Yeah.
didn't, yeah, they weren't. Well, yeah, I guess they were just regular people. And I just, because a lot of us just follow people and they're not selling anything.
Yeah, they're just people.
Yeah. I mean,
Mark
well, back
Mark
in the
started
day,
following me.
it was, we
Hmm.
followed everyone.
Yeah.
Now we're following people only based off if I'm going to be utilizing the information they're posting because we're all
True.
kind of finicky about following people now.
Hmm.
But yeah, I guess that was it.
Okay.
That was honestly my like the most fulfilling time is that lockdown, man. And then I did a series like the stories behind my tattoos, and then I created artist spotlight, and then I created the lockdown and behind like it was called lockdown behind this or something. It was something cool.
So, but what's going on, bro? Why don't you start that back up? The interviewing people, doing all that stuff, having them pull up, asking them the questions.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know what's funny? It's like you know, like I was doing it before, reels were a thing, you know what I
Mm,
mean? And
hmm.
so it just seems like now that I don't know, it just seems like the real craze has made m- regular people move like they're influencers, even though they're not. If that makes sense.
I got you. It's like everybody think they an influencer.
Like it's kind of like it's hard to connect with people now.
Hmm.
Seems like more people are more interested in making reels at their brunch than they are in, you know, doing something cool.
Hmm. Just doing something that they saw was trending. I feel
Right.
like I see that a lot now. It's like,
Trend chasers.
yeah, it's like the trend chasing the same song or the same
Mm-hmm.
challenge that somebody's doing. Then you'll see everybody doing it, and it's just like, oh my God, all right, scan, 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 scan. Was something else that's interesting. Then next thing you know, you're on Instagram for the next 5 hours, and you're like, oh
No,
wait,
real
hold up.
shit. Real
Like,
shit.
damn, I got work to do. Damn it. Oh well, you know
Like,
what?
how'd I get here? Why am
It's
I
not.
here again?
It's nighttime now. You know what? I got those things tomorrow. I'll do them tomorrow, man. It's like a never little ending cycle of like, all right, I fucked up today. I was supposed to do that stuff and
Yeah.
spent 5 hours on Instagram, which wasn't healthy for me because I'm looking at other people's work, especially since whatever you're looking at, the algorithm will keep pushing that to you too. So it's like
100%.
full of dope videos, full of amazing photos
Mm-hmm.
by photographers
Mm-hmm.
from all over the world. And you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, damn, 5 hours of like, man, this editing is great here. The skin retouching on this guy's stuff, the videos that this guy's doing. I seen one where this guy posted like he's been doing it for 15 years, but it's like he posted a 30-second car commercial for Formula One, and he posted his timeline thing of his Premiere Pro, and it was said like 153 different uh, things that go into a 30-second car commercial for Formula One, and it was like he played it, and it's like the original timeline with all of the other clips and edits and sound effects and da da da, and it's just like you see the thing just jumping up, just everything
Yeah.
that's on there, and it's just like all the clips and the color corrections and da da da, everything switching into gear and stuff. I'm like, of course, that's something I want to be able to get to and want to be like good enough to do eventually.
Yeah.
But just seeing that is so intimidating. You're like, oh God, like, yeah, yeah. Should I
It's
even
fun.
I mean, yeah, it's fun, but it's just like,
It's fun. I mean, it's fun puzzling that thing together. But man, let me tell you,
oh no.
you don't ever want to. You don't ever want that thing to crash on you when you got a big ass project like that.
Yeah, bro. That's something I'm learning too, is like to save your progress. Something that you're doing like
Oh
every
yeah, the control S there.
just boom, control S, because I had to learn that the hard way doing my last little promo thing for a barbershop. And then
Yeah.
all my stuff just deleted. Like I didn't save anything. I got all the way to the end, put all the little sound effects, everything in there, and then went to go export it. And halfway through exporting, it was just like, oh, something went wrong on the export. And I was like, and I'm just thinking, like, all right, whatever. I'll just, whatever. I'll go back to
Yeah,
it. I'll
cold
export it again.
blooded.
And bro, the whole Premiere Pro shut down. I was like, oh,
Cold blooded.
I'm like, all right, now it'll be fine. I opened it up. My work's not there. Nothing's there. I'm like, bro, you got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. I'm on Instagram or I'm on YouTube checking out like how to recover your work that just
Yep.
crashed on you. And people are like, well, you can do this,
Just
this, and
going.
this. So yeah, bro. Just getting into the zone, which is good when you're like that creative juice is flowing and you're just like zoned in. Like
Yeah,
phone
for
is
sure.
away from you, everything's away from you. You're just like, boom, oh, okay, let me do this. And and next thing you know, 3 hours passing. You're like, all right, cool, it's done. Like export
Yeah.
it. Cool, let's do it. But yeah, man. So that's the end of it, bro. Thank you for being on. This is your boy Andrew and no parking. And go ahead and introduce yourself again, man. Let them know where they can find you, your channels and stuff like that. I'll make sure that's all clipped for you.
I appreciate it, Drew. Again, my name is Omar. They call me Wolf, El Lobo Negro. You can find me on Instagram at Blvckwolfmedia. That's BLVCK WOLFMEDIA.
Okay.
And YouTube as well.
Okay. Same handles on YouTube.
Yeah. Same handles. Black Wolf Media on YouTube, spelled the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, man. There you guys have it.
I appreciate you, man.
Check my boy out. And yeah, man, thanks again for joining in, man, and
No
dropping
problem.
those little key knowledges.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, man.
Anytime, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
All righty.
All right, man.
Later.